As you learn and go along with the law of attraction, I've found that you just learn more and more and more ways to deliberately create your reality with intention. And today I want to share one with you that for me is fairly recent. So some of you may have already got this lesson a while back, but for me, this has actually been a very recent revelation, and it has everything to do with preparing. All right, so I want to talk about the dangers of preparing. And danger is kind of a negative word, but a lot of times we hear that it's important to prepare, it's important to get ready, it's important to have all your ducks in a row before you do something. And something that I've come to notice really not that long ago is that that kind of a mentality was really working against me. And so today I want to share with you why that is. All right, so this is a video that's very well suited for, any of my law of attraction type A personality friends out there. Those of you who like to make sure that everything's in order before you proceed. And this is something that I can identify with strongly because I was of the mentality to work before play and to try to get everything ready before I needed it. So for example, if I was going to go out of town on a trip, previously, I would have spent a lot of time making sure that I had everything set for my work, have the house totally clean, have everything packed days in advance, make sure that I had everything in advance of when I actually had to go. And this isn't to say that preparing is necessarily a bad thing, all right? But if you're in the habit like I was, to where it's kind of an obsession, where, I literally can't do anything unless I'm over-prepared for it, this actually works against you because it sends out a message, I found, that prevents you from tapping into a really huge present resource that's available to you in every now moment. Now, what do I mean by this? In every now moment, you have the capacity of receiving everything that you need to get where you want to be, to do the things you need to do, to have the things that you need to have in that moment. When you're tuned into this idea that the present moment can support me, a funny thing happens, which is that you need to know things when you need to know them. So when I'm in this state of being present, where I'm just kind of assuming that everything's working out for me right now, I don't have to micromanage it, I don't have to plan it, I don't have to over-prepare for it. I'm just in the state of this moment can support me, I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it. The funniest things happen, which is that I'll suddenly get a reminder that, oh, you got to call your mom right now. Or, oh, that's right, you got an appointment coming up tomorrow. You need to remind your husband about that. And these ideas will come to me at precisely the right time. What I need to know, what I need, shows up in my present moment without my having to prepare for it. That's something that's really been dialed up in my reality just over the last month or so, is getting these kind of impulses more and more frequently in my conscious state. And what I know had been blocking it was this over-preparing nonsense that I've been doing for so long, which was this idea of playing 5 steps ahead. So trying to imagine what reality was going to be like next week, tomorrow, 5 hours from now, and trying to plan for it. And that really takes you out of your present moment. Because instead of staying centered and going with the flow and allowing yourself to be guided and knowing that you're going to know what you need to know, what you need to do it, and therefore having very good timing, all of that over preparing was just preventing me from tapping into that. Because I was operating from a place of low-level anxiety when I would do those things rather than going with the flow. So if you're somebody who tends to over prepare, that's fine, Just start to dial back on it a little bit and watch how this works for you. If there are little things that you usually prepare for, like, hey, I'm about to go to the grocery store with my kids, I gotta make sure I have their devices charged, they need to have a snack, they need to have this. If there's anything that's irrelevant on those lists, start leaving it off and start to notice that you're a little bit more tuned in, a little bit more tapped in, and that things still work out for you despite the fact that you didn't over prepare. I've really been working on this one, again, the last month or so, and it's had huge results for me, so I figured I'd pass it along to you, just in case you were somebody who liked to over-prepare.